Welcome to the Gun Owners of America State of the Second podcast. I'm Kaylee.
And I'm John, and today we're joined by Tim from 2A Bourbon. Tim has brought an awesome product to the market, supporting the Second Amendment and all our bad habits. So, Tim, how are you today?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for having me.
We appreciate you being on. We're going to start off first with our rapid fire segment. We're going to ask you 5 questions. Go ahead and answer them for us.
Looking to upgrade your everyday carry? Langdon Tactical takes factory firearms and turns them into precision-built tools you can trust.
From world-class trigger jobs to complete custom packages, every detail is built for smooth, faster, and more accurate performance.
Known for the legendary LTT Beretta 92, Langdon Tactical sets the standard in custom handguns.
Trusted by professionals and enthusiasts alike, Langdon Tactical delivers more than upgrades. It delivers precision-built confidence.
Learn more at langdontactical.com and use code LTTGOA for $100 off orders over $1,000.
First question, favorite age of bourbon?
5 years.
5 year.
The experts tell us, the experts that I know in the bourbon business tell us after 7 years, they don't really think bourbon gets better. Now, I know the bourbon snobs say that's not true, but a lot of the experts that actually create the bourbon think 7 years is about the break where it maybe slides a little bit, in their opinion.
What was your last impulse buy?
Last impulse buy, a new fishing boat.
It's a good impulse buy.
Also a hunting boat. It's a camouflage, so I can duck hunt and fish.
It's multi-purpose.
Yeah, multi-purpose.
Best proof for bourbon?
90 proof, in my opinion. It makes it where it's not so hot that you just go, wow. You know, you can taste it. You can feel the flavors. You can just get everything out of it. I think 90 proof is where it's at.
Favorite bourbon besides your own?
Eagle Rare. And can I explain that?
Yes.
Absolutely.
We had a big bourbon tasting in a club in North Carolina that has a big following, and that every 3 months they have a bourbon tasting. And my friend, who I play golf with, who says he likes me, but he's never beat me in golf, so he really doesn't like me. So when I first came out with this, he said, "Let me have a bottle and carry it. It's my day to bring the 2 bourbons." It was blind tasting. They picked 10 people out and do a blind tasting. And he thought he was going to snooker me, so he went and bought Eagle Rare, 10-year Eagle Rare. And they had the tasting, and he called me up and called me every name, but I mean every name. And he says, "You sorry sucker." He said, 8 out of 10 chose yours. I thought I was going to finally get over on you. So Eagle Rare has to be my favorite because two out of 10 chose it.
I love that. Favorite bourbon tasting note?
Cinnamon bun,
Cinnamon bun.
which mine has.
That is an interesting one. I haven't heard the cinnamon bun. The thing that makes me laugh about bourbon tasting notes, somebody's like, it tastes like old shoe leather. How do you know what that tastes like?
Yeah, that's a good question. Great question.
Like, what? I think that's 5.
That's 5.
That's 5. So that wraps up our rapid fire segment. Tim, let's go ahead and get into this. Go ahead and explain how you started the company, why you started the company, what is 2A Bourbon, all that stuff.
Okay, I'll be 75 next month, and when I turn 72, 73, my last company I own, I've been a serial entrepreneur all my life, from practicing law to owning a nightclub to owning a bottled water company. And my last one was a label company, a digital label company that I'd had for 16 years. And so I knew the liquor business because we did a lot of liquor, high-end liquor labels. And so I was going to retire, and my son-in-law had gone to Iraq, and his twin brother had gone to Iraq, and his twin brother had got killed. And I decided retirement. My wife was retiring from Duke University, and we were going to do some good somewhere, serve at a soup kitchen, do something to give back. And I'm playing golf Memorial Day weekend of 22, and I'm left-handed, and I tend to hook the ball. I play right-handed, but I'm left-handed, and I tend to hook, overpower. But this day I sliced it on the 18th hole, and unbeknownst to me, every name of every fallen soldier from North Carolina was written in white chalk down the right-hand side of the fairway. And I didn't know anything about it. And guess where my ball ended? On top of my son-in-law's twin brother's name. And I said, holy cow. The hair on my neck raises to this day when I think about it. So I went into the pro and asked Carl, I said, Carl, what's the names here and why? And he explained that they do it with Folds of Honor. And so I said, I'm going to do something for Folds of Honor. And I called Folds of Honor and I said, I'm going to create a charity. Could I give to you? And they said, absolutely. And I was listening to a podcast a couple of days later and said, if you want to raise a charity, you need a following. And I said, Guns and Bourbon. I think they got a pretty big following. And so I went online. I said, it's got to be a Second Amendment bourbon. It's got to be. It wasn't. And within 15 minutes, I had created the name Second Amendment Bourbon with the .com and filing the trademark and everything. And so then talking to other bourbon people, they said, well, the reason there's not a Second Amendment bourbon, the government gives you a cola. They have to approve labels on liquor. They'll never give it to you for Second Amendment. And I said, well, I'll try. You know, what I knew how to do it because I had a printing business. We did it for people. So I sent a cola in. It usually takes 3 to 4 weeks, a yes or no. 3 days later, yes. I said, oh my gosh, I got a name, I got a label. Now I got to go get bourbon. And so I took 3 people with me to Kentucky. We tried a lot of bourbons. And this bourbon we chose is the only bourbon all 3 agreed that this is a drinking man's bourbon that you can sip and enjoy. It doesn't burn your throat. It's not too weak. It fits all the bases of what they thought a good drinkable bourbon was, sipping bourbon as they call it. And so I bought a bunch of barrels and found somebody to bottle it. Believe it or not, he's known as the Bourbon Rabbi. He has his own bourbon. And he is an actual rabbi, and he bottles in Kentucky for me, and helps me. All the law, every state law is different, so he's getting me through all these state laws, and it's been really fun. And also, I've donated or raised over $250,000 in 2 years. We'll be 2 years old this month, and one of the charities I give to or help raise money for is to stop soldier suicide and a program called ASSIST. ASSIST is a program that actually is going out to the military bases, DOJ bases, and teaching people how to recognize when somebody's in trouble and try to stop suicide before it happens. And why it's deep and it means something to my heart. I had a brother committed suicide. He was 18 years old the night before I was to take the bar exam. So I know how it affects families. Not only the person's dead, but it affects families forever. My mother never got over it. I never got over it. It's lingering. So that's why I'm really helping stop soldier suicide. And we sponsor a ruck walk in Clearwater, Florida. A young mother who lost her son. He was a sergeant in the Marines, committed suicide, wanted to start something to help stop soldier suicide. And so she started a ruck walk in Clearwater and asked me this was before I even had bourbon. She said, I know you're going to start a bourbon company. Would you donate the seed money? And we did. And it has so far raised roughly $125,000 in 3 years. We've had 3 ruck walks and it's been wonderful. It's been a lot of fun. And it's see the military guys, the Marines singing the Marine fight song, lined up in their full uniforms with a rucksack. It's really an impressive scene. So that's why I started just as a fluke, and it's taken off. I got the idea, bourbon, a certain bourbon company has horses on their bourbon, and I said, well, why can't we put gun companies on the top? And so that's why I started. The first bourbon had a 2 bullets that formed the A with a bridge. And now we're going with Smith & Wesson. They've been unbelievably gracious to let us have their logo, their licenses to put their name on the case, the Smith & Wesson logo on the top, free because of what we do. And they are very supportive. They've been extremely supportive because I had a lot of gun companies. I went to SHOT Show 2 years ago and pitched this to a lot of them, and a lot of them said, we want percentages. But now I'm having gun companies. In fact, I had one reach out yesterday. They want to be in line because we want to change every 20,000 cases and make it a collectible, the Army, and make a little thing where you can put the toppers around something that looks like a, I found out from Remington, it's not a revolver, it's a wheel gun. You know, the cylinder from a wheel gun where you can put your tops around it and put it up on your bar. So it's taken off, and it's really been fun. And I think we're doing good for people and helping. They're not the only two people. We are donating every day. I donate and help sponsor a MMIA, Military Missions in Action, in North Carolina. Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation. I mean, all kinds of junior colleges that have gunsmithing classes. We've been donating to them to help them keep the classes going. So, you know, we're spreading it out and doing what we can.
No, I applaud you for everything you do. You've been a great supporter of GOA since we talked 2 years ago. Most people, when they start a bourbon company, and a lot of people have done it over the last couple of years, they go to, there's a big place in Indiana. Everybody knows who it is.
Yep.
You went directly to Kentucky and found somebody. What made you go, instead of going to the big distiller in Indiana, what made you go straight to Kentucky to pick the bourbon?
I wanted proper bourbon, as they call it. And Kentucky's where it's at. And I know about this company, and I know people that buy from them, a lot of people. I know I'm paying more, but I wanted the real deal, Kentucky bourbon. And that's why I did it. It's a real funny story. When I went to Total Wines in Florida to get in Total Wines, they required a tasting, and they brought in 5 people from Total Wines to taste my bourbon. And when I walk in the door with the bourbon and the gun case, walk in, he said, I just want to tell you right now, if it's from that company, turn around. We don't need any more of that. I said, no, this is real Kentucky bourbon. He said, come on in. I can't remember, it was either 5 or 7. I got whatever the number was, thumbs up. So it is in Total Wines in Florida.
That's awesome. So we've got the case in front of us with Smith & Wesson, and we know who the pony is. You decide to do this, you're building this out, and you've gotten some good reception. You know, what were you nervous when you went up to him and were like, hey, this is my idea? Or how'd that come about?
No, you know, hey, I've tried cases representing murderers beside me. I don't get nervous. I guess I do, but no, I didn't. I just said, look, either do it or not. And now I have gun companies lining up. I mean, I really do. I'm not making this up. And I can't say who number 2 is, but it's a pretty big company. So I've got enough lined up probably for my lifetime. And we're just going to keep it 20,000 cases. That's it. And we're not going to do any more of that gun top. That was my understanding with Smith & Wesson, and I'm going to keep my word on it.
I think that's really a really cool thing for the gun companies to get celebrated in another way. Plus, you know, I think we all enjoy the hobby of collecting something that's memorable, and I think that it helps charities be able to raise more money if they've got those exclusive bottles, which really seem to go down to the core of what 2A bourbon is.
Well, like I just gave a bottle to, it's called the Doorway to Hope in Raleigh, North Carolina. They have a big event at the Angus Barn, which is a very famous restaurant in Raleigh. They have about 300 people there, and I think they raised $400,000 this year. They help families, working families that are struggling. You know, just helping ends meet for working families. And I gave a bottle to them, did last year, and this year the bottle went for $825. So they raised $825 on my bottle that sells for $114 in the liquor store. Now, of the 114, the dirty little secret in the liquor business is I don't give it half. The state, the feds, everybody else gets the other half. And so, it's not a lot of margin, but I've not taken a penny from 2A. I'm giving it all back. And I have one employee who's also, he helped me create it. He was in the liquor business for many, many years and knew more about liquor than I did and helped me kind of get into the states and stuff. And he's the only paid employee. And everybody else, I have two guys that help me in Durham that do a lot of bottling, do my social media stuff. Brad, you met Brad, and Joe. And so I have a great team, and 3 out of 4 are doing it for the love of it. And the fourth one's doing it for the love of it, but he's doing we need him full time to travel around the states. And in fact, he's in Florida. We're having a big event tonight to raise a bunch of money for a military charity down in I'm not sure somewhere in Florida. But I talked to him this morning. He's already down there. They're expecting to sell about 150 of the cases.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, if somebody wants to get your bourbon, what is the best way to go about it? Where are you located?
In North Carolina, we're in North Carolina ABC. We're in Tennessee in the liquor stores. We're in Oklahoma. We're in Louisiana. We're in Florida. But most of my bourbon is sitting in Florida because they can ship to the internet to 44 states. So 2abourbon.com, see if your state, you can do it. One of the few states is North Carolina. That's why I'm in North Carolina. I think maybe Utah, maybe West Virginia, Missouri. I don't know all of them, but it's 6 that you can't ship to. But they'll ship to 44 states. And it's been really wonderful. It's a great gift if you got somebody in the military, kids and all. It's wonderful. At least I think it is.
And then if they can't get it shipped to them, what's the best course to get it in their hands? Just go to the liquor store and ask for it?
In those states.
Yeah.
Now, we're getting ready to go into Georgia, South Carolina, and Texas.
That's a lot of bourbon in a lot of states.
Yeah, I know. You have to crawl before you run. I wished I had millions of dollars to throw at it because I could flood the market with it and it'd really be I could have more money to donate, but it's just, I'm doing what I can. But, it's interesting in Texas, the 800-pound gorilla liquor company in Texas, which I will not name, refuses to put it in because it has something to do with guns. Honestly. I went and met with them. The manager, the guard at the door said, "Can I have the first case?" And the manager loved it. The salespeople, they loved the idea. The woman that owns it, her and her father said, "We don't have anything to do with guns." And I said, "In Texas, you can wear a gun on your forehead." And they said, "Yeah, but we're not going to sell anything that has guns." So and they're the 800-pound gorilla in Texas.
Jeez.
I know. I mean, it floored me to no end. But people have a right. It's their business. They can do what they want to. But I don't think they're serving their clientele.
Wow, that's crazy. And I do want to kind of shift gears just slightly into more of the advocacy that you do. I know you're wearing the I Plead the Second.
Yes.
And so kind of walk us through a little bit of why not only have you chosen to go and support the military, but why the Second Amendment is such a key piece for your business.
I grew up, I'm a educated redneck, as I tell people. I was a hunter all my life. When I went to high school, I had a gun and a gun rack in the back of my pickup truck. And after school, we'd go bird hunting. Now there are no birds, and now you can't carry a gun. So I don't know what the problem is. But, we just the reason I support GOA and Second Amendment Foundation so hard, as a lawyer, it is my deep opinion, I could be wrong, but I think I'm right, that somebody like Elon Musk, who's going to be the first trillionaire. Remember, he was a Democrat at one time. Now he's a Republican. Suppose he wakes up tomorrow morning and says, "I don't want guns in America." You say it'll never happen. Well, don't say never. If somebody as rich as him, in my opinion, Congress is for sale. And if somebody like him with $1 trillion goes to these legislators and offers them so much money, and I don't think it'd take a lot, guns would be outlawed in this country. And the only people that can stop it are the courts. And GOA and Second Amendment Foundation are the people in there slugging it out, keeping the rights. So that's why Second Amendment and now GOA is involved in what I'm doing, because I'm convinced it's going to happen. At some point, it's going to happen. We saw Bloomberg try to do it a little bit, but he didn't have enough money. But a man with $1 trillion, I mean, y'all might think I'm crazy, but I'm just telling you, I've seen things that I never believed, and I think that we could have somebody that could buy Congress off and get basically guns outlawed, where the only way you could have a gun is in your own home or something. I mean, just something that crazy. So that's why I'm doing it. John, you don't look like you agree with me.
No, I'm. You're absolutely right. I mean, we've never seen somebody do it, but we've seen the anti-gunners use a number of different tactics to go after us. They've supported anti-gun senators and congressmen, and money talks. You hope that the people who serve us as elected officials serve the people, but money talks.
Yeah, and I think that it all goes down to the realities, right? The only thing that politicians fear is losing power.
That's right.
And so,
and money keeps them in power.
Oftentimes it does, and that's why it's vitally important that we stay consistently engaged. That we, I would love for GOA not to have to fundraise all the time. It's a lot of work, but it's a requirement. Lawsuits are incredibly expensive. You're a lawyer, you understand that.
I know.
But also, just the amount of staff required to read every bill, to lobby Congress, to educate a population on what is going on, providing podcasts like this and others. It's so vitally important because we have to be able to ensure that we, the people, still ultimately have that power. And it takes companies like yours supporting missions to ensure that that Congress isn't auctioned off to the highest bidder, and that we are able to have education and communication so that someone like Elon Musk can switch parties because of what he sees going on. Do I think that he is,
No, I was just using. I was using him just as an example.
Oh, I understand.
He won't be the way the economy is. He won't be the only trillionaire.
Yeah.
We become an oligarchy without realizing it. I mean, our billionaires run this company. I mean, I don't know if it's a true fact, but about 80% of everything you touch, 5 companies control it in this country every day, which, so we're going to have other trillionaires.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But I think it's important that, we are conscious and aware of those facts so that we can take the power back to the citizenry. And I think that's what a lot of what you are doing is empowering, is supporting organizations so they can educate against the mainstream media, so that they can get results, because people only care about a lawsuit if they hear about it.
Yeah.
And I hate to be like that, but that's the reality.
Well, we're sponsoring the breakfast Saturday. I guess it's next Saturday in Salt Lake City for the gun policy meeting they're having. Mm-hmm. And I hope some good stuff comes out of that, because we've got to stay one step ahead.
100%.
And that's what y'all are doing. That's what Second Amendment doing. I assume NRA. I'm not participating in helping NRA right now, but we're looking at something. So it's just, thank goodness there are groups out there, because I don't know who said it. I wished I'd have thought about it and said it first, but I'm paraphrasing, but the rights to bear arm preserves all the other rights.
Mm-hmm.
And that's key, because if we've looked at history and societies and people that aren't armed, we know what can happen.
Well, I mean, our founders were very smart people, and to go, the first amendment is the freedom to speech. The very next amendment is to the freedom to protect that speech and protect everything in between. If it wasn't that important to them, they wouldn't have made it number two.
Number two, yeah.
No, I agree. And I think that so often we as a society, at least those that are on the pro-gun side, have taken for granted almost the basic common knowledge of where our rights come from. I think that there was an expectation for a long time that everyone at least could agree that we have these unalienable rights. They were in the Constitution. They are in the Declaration of Independence. They are in all of the supporting documents. And I think that for a lot of people, it was, okay, well, we just have different viewpoints on things. But then you have someone like Senator Tim Kaine, who was almost vice president of the United States, get up in the Senate and say that your rights are not inalienable, that they come from government, and that it's concerning if someone would say that you do have God-given rights or natural rights or whatever version of the verbiage that you want to use. And I think that is a significant wake-up call for every individual to really look at the education system and to really look at what are we teaching our children, what do we ourselves understand from our founding, and what educational gaps not should be repaired, but must be repaired in order for us to live in a free society.
To go out and say something like that, I mean, hey, go down the road. There's this place that's got this document sitting there. Why don't you go read it? And maybe you'll learn something.
It's on your phone too. Like, it's Google. Like, seriously. Like, the thing about it is like,
well, no, it's on the back of my bottle of bourbon.
Yes.
Yeah. Grab his bourbon, read it.
And drink it and read it.
Drink it and read it. Maybe it'll burn into your memory a little bit.
It's insane to me, though, that we're to a point where a senator can be elected and reelected and tapped for the vice presidential nomination and have no concept of our founding.
Yeah, that's weird. Well, like I said, I'm convinced somebody, some way, is going to have enough money and try to go after gun rights. I'm convinced of it, and it's no conspiracy. It's going to happen.
Well, I think
we see it every day, but nobody has enough money to buy Congress the way they need to do.
No, and that's I think that there are gun control groups. We did a one in the chamber about a year ago now, I would say. It's on the YouTube channel. I highly recommend that you guys go and look at it. But it talks about where the money comes from on the left for the Everytown for Gun Safety, for the Moms Demand Actions, for Giffords, for all of these anti-gun groups. And it's not a grassroots funded organization. It's not like GOA where the average donation is an annual membership. And so it's a completely different viewpoint. And they really have prided themselves on the ability to impact politics from the level of the elite. And GOA and those on the pro-gun side, we understand that it's an individual freedom and we're very individualistic, and it's all at the grassroots level.
What do you know what percentage, I've seen many numbers and I'm not sure which one's correct, of gun ownership in this country is?
Percentage, the last number I saw, there was 673 million guns.
No, not guns, but people that actually have guns in their home percentage.
Whoa,
I've
that's-
heard 76%. I don't know if that's correct.
I actually don't know that I don't know if I don't.
But guess what? Guess where is the number one per capita registered guns now? So we can leave Texas out of it. Registered guns. Guess where the number one place for registered guns is?
Where?
D.C. I think Louisiana was number 2. But it's registered guns, so it's kind of, D.C. is probably a lot stricter than in most states about registering guns. But
Yeah.
But that's the number one place that has registered guns per capita is D.C.
Yeah, it's almost impossible to get your concealed carry permit in DC.
Yeah.
And there was a big fight on it. Go look up
Yeah,
the Heller
yeah,
fight, please.
Yes. Yeah. There's a whole
what
court
fight?
case about it.
Which fight?
DC v. Heller.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, we were part of that case.
Yep.
I thought y'all won that case.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
Yep.
my sister-in-law and her husband, they live in D.C. and they also own farms in West Virginia, so they have guns. And I know at one time it was you couldn't even have a gun there or something. It was pretty.
Yeah. There before the Heller decision, they just kept adding more and more gun control. At one point, I don't even think the gun in your home, if you had one, could be assembled.
Do you know the place where, well, our country wasn't founded in D.C., where the heart of our government has the strictest gun control? That just makes me laugh.
Yeah. So I wanted, we're getting the signal, so we're gonna go to our
Can we
Our
do
segment?
one thing before we
Yeah.
go to there? So we've talked a ton about the bourbon, and we've got one behind us. But can we open this and show this off for a second?
Absolutely. Please do.
Because I want to show this off for a second. Because we talked about the back of the bottle, we talked about the case head.
this
So
is the Smith and Wesson, right?
This is Smith and Wesson. So
For those not watching on
so we've got.
video,
Let me
we'll go through
pull
it.
this out. So we've got our Smith and Wesson logo topper here, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Check that out.
What is this? The topper made out of?
It's zinc,
zinc.
100% zinc. Weighs 4 ounces.
Yeah. Put this. Hopefully you can see it.
Because we've talked a lot about it. I want to show it off a little bit.
And here's the 5-year Smith & Wesson.
And then on the back, we have the Second Amendment. I'll trade you real quick. I wanted to show this off real
Yeah,
fast.
absolutely. And then it's listed on the bottle as well for those that are not able to see, who are listening on the audio version of this. It's got Smith & Wesson on the bottle as well, not just the topper
And the case.
and the case.
Case.
So it's a whole setup. How long are these available for?
For 20,000 bottles.
For 20. So they've started the sell.
Oh, yeah. Tennessee's bought a lot. North Carolina, Florida. We shipped to Oklahoma. And so it's out there.
That's awesome.
Turn that like that. And put the.
And the name of let me just give a little shout out. The name of the company in Florida, because obviously I can't sell it. My distributor can't sell it, but a third party can. And if you go to our website, a lot of people email me and say, is this a scam? It's called Give Them Beer. That's the name of the company. But it's called Give Them Beer. And the lady that runs it's just wonderful and very supportive.
That's awesome. I realize that there are many choices when it comes to who you choose for your cell phone service, and there are new ones popping up all of the time. But here's the truth.
You won't find another cell phone service provider that does more to defend our Second Amendment right to bear arms than Patriot Mobile.
For more than 12 years, Patriot Mobile has been on the front lines fighting for our God-given rights and freedoms while also providing exceptional nationwide cell phone service with access to all 3 of the main networks. Don't just take my word for it. Ask one of the hundreds of thousands of Americans who have made the switch and are now supporting causes they believe in simply by joining Patriot Mobile.
Switching is easier than ever. Activate in minutes from the comfort of your own home. Keep your number, keep your phone, or upgrade.
Patriot Mobile's all U.S. based support team is standing by to take care of you. Call 972-PATRIOT today or go to patriotmobile.com/GOA. Use the promo code GOA for a free month of service and 15% off every line. That's patriotmobile.com/GOA or call 972-PATRIOT and make the switch today. All right, so it's time for our segment from the soapbox. It is the time where we get to be a little spicier than at other points in the show and give some of our hot takes on what's going on in the world, what is vital for the protection of our rights, and really what is the main message that we want to convey so oftentimes comes from this segment. So the floor is yours. What are your hot takes?
I know this is going to sound like a cop-out, okay? I'm a Duke fan, but I take great advice from Michael Jordan. And you know where I'm going. Michael Jordan, when asked why he didn't get involved in politics and help the Democratic Party, he said, Republicans buy tennis shoes too. I try to stay away from politics because I've got a lot of friends that are Democrats that own guns, that drink bourbon, and believe in the Second Amendment rights. And I'm a little disturbed that one side or another says this other side stands for this or this, when really we're all American. We all have the same Constitution. Let's just get along. And that's my soap opera. And maybe that's not very, it might be a cop-out, but my mother just taught me, live by the golden rule. Do unto others if you would have them do unto you.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to agree with that as well. I mean, GOA is a nonpartisan organization. You just have to love the Second Amendment, right?
Yeah.
That we're a single issue group for a reason,
Yeah.
right? And I'll be honest, and this might be an unpopular opinion, but the first person that ever taught me how to shoot a gun was my uncle. And up until very recently, he would have absolutely thrown a temper tantrum if you would have even considered him to be on the right side of the aisle.
Yeah.
And so I think that you're right. Guns can be that universal piece. And we just have to defend them and defend them well. And we spend a lot of time on this podcast and particularly talking about building an on-ramp for the Second Amendment, getting more people involved in the fight, getting more people engaged in protecting the Second Amendment. And I think that so oftentimes if you try to play party politics with something that is a fundamental right, you'll end up losing it.
Yeah, and another thing, my mother was a very wise woman, and she said, and a lot of people, she didn't make it up, I'm sure, but she said that, we're it's like a bird. The Second Amendment is like a bird. It takes a right wing and a left wing to fly. And that's what we've got to remember, at least in my opinion. We've got to remember everybody's got to be involved. You can't hate the left wing. Another thing she said, you cut your nose off and spite your face. That's what we're doing when we alienate people that don't believe the way we do. We've just got to discuss things, get along, and all agree that America is the greatest country in the world, and one of the reasons is our Constitution. I know it might be a little deep.
No, I love that because we talk a lot about building a Second Amendment community, and we don't all have to agree on the same things. But if we agree that the Second Amendment is a God-given right that is granted to us, that we have the right to keep and bear arms, that we can all agree on that to build a stronger community, it is what we need. We spend too much time, and we've talked about this before. We spend too much time focusing on why we hate somebody or I disagree with them, so immediately they're no longer my friend. where we could just build our community back together. And we've seen that disappear a lot in the upcoming generations, where when I was growing up and when you were growing up and you knew your neighbor, you knew your friend,
Sure.
you go over and talk to them. I know one neighbor and the other one keeps quiet. The one across the street I talk to, but we've lost this sense of building our communities and going back into our communities and supporting our communities and doing that. And you do a lot of that through your charitable work, but we need to get back to getting together as a community and having events and hanging out and talking about
When
them.
was the last time we were together as a country?
September 12th,
Yeah.
2001.
Yeah. The last time this country really folded together everybody and says, we got to defend America. And that's, you know,
And that's a scary thought. To
it
me.
is.
To me, that's a scary thought, is that it's something that big would have to draw us back together again.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It is. I've talked to a number of people about this. Is we as a society, as a community, as a country, that we were so together that day, and it has since in the 24 years since has fallen apart. And it scares me to think that we have to go through another tragedy like that just to become. We don't need that. We need to come together as a country, as a community, and just get. But again, we're in a society. Everything scares us now.
Yeah. Well, just think, when COVID hit, we could have come together as a country. I mean, that was a dramatic moment. We lost 1 million people. I had it, almost died. But it broke us apart more. It was weird. I mean, a tragedy that fitted the whole world broke us apart. If you did vaccine, no vaccine, whatever, it just, I don't know. It's why that broke the country even more is amazing to me.
How do I want to put this? So I don't get in trouble. I think it wasn't a come together moment. It was a dividing moment.
That's what I'm saying. It was.
It was a very big dividing moment, because now I'm going to phase this into two parts. It was a dividing moment because we had, the no vaxxers, the vaxxers, the mask, the no mask, the push.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But the other thing that brought us together is that a lot of people opened their minds to the Second Amendment. We saw a large growth in the Second Amendment because people saw they couldn't. What was the number? 72, 7 million new gun owners, something like that.
It was the fastest growing.
I didn't realize that.
Record numbers breaking in the NICS system, and the Second Amendment had to be considered essential. It was a really weird time. I think the difference is between those two events specifically is media, social media.
Let me just tell you, social media is probably the death of this country. I mean, it could, for the worst.
Well, I think
that's why we knew our neighbors. We didn't go on Facebook and meet them. We actually walked over there and met them.
Yeah, and I think that's why you've seen such brazen reactions to the political violence and the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
And overreaction. I mean, it's all over.
When
It's crazy.
somebody is celebrating political violence, that's insanity.
It's total insanity. Yeah.
Yeah, it just we need to just come together. And I don't know what the catalyst will be. But
I hope it's not a world war.
Yeah. So I'm going to transition to another take.
Okay. We're getting a little deep here.
So I have we're looking at right now a 2A bourbon bottle that's excellent. A product that is amazing, tastes amazing, raises a lot of money for organizations like ours and others. And one of the sponsors of this podcast is Patriot Mobile.
Okay. Yeah.
And I look at the decisions that I make as a consumer. And my hot take is we are becoming more culturally aware of how valuable voting with our dollar is. And that we, as people who love our country, are now looking to spend our money with like-minded people who want to save our veterans, who want to save our Second Amendment, who want to continue with the values that have always made this country great. And that, for me, is one of the most exciting takes that I've seen. I feel like that has been moving in culturally for the last couple years, but it seems like in the last 6 to 8 months, it's really increasing in a rate that I really didn't see coming.
I just kind of retrospectively, my father was one of those people at 17 years of age, lied about his age to join the World War. And so the World War brought us together. 9/11 brought us together. We got to come together as a nation and honor the Constitution and whatever. I just hope it doesn't take a third World War, but maybe something will happen that maybe people will wise up and just say, look, this infighting, and that's what it is. We're all a family, and we just got to quit it and get along. And you have your thoughts, I have my thoughts. They're your thoughts, and you have a right to those thoughts. That's what I would preach, but that's the only preaching I do. Just let's get along. Come on.
Absolutely.
No, I think I could agree. To go on to your topic, I think it is. How do I put this? The best example of us voting with our dollar, I guess, besides 2A Bourbon and Patriot Mobile, is to change the Cracker Barrel and flipping it over. I mean,
I noticed I got one down here where I was staying, and it's back to the old.
It's back to the old thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's, as a society, I think there's a huge cultural shift back to the.
I think what you're getting at is there is a deep desire in our country to have a return to normalcy, to have a return to a non-polarizing time. And I think that we have to be the adults in the room. We have to be the ones that have the tough conversations. We have to be the ones that support the companies, that support us, that change how the marketplace of ideas is structured. Because, going back in my Rolodex, man, everybody on the podcast gets to watch me buffer for a second. But it was the court case at Citizens United, where organizations, companies have the same vocal power as an individual, and we have to have companies that stand in that gap, that have those conversations in the marketplace of ideas, and really kind of get back to the vision of America so that we can move forward, so that we can have a country that isn't divided against itself. But we have to have conscious efforts. 2A Bourbon is one of those conscious efforts. Patriot Mobile is one of those companies that are doing the same thing. So many of these, Blackout Coffee, Caliber Coffee. There's so many variations of this in the marketplace that says, you know what, we don't like the fact that X company is donating to anti-gun politics, and they're the only voice that's being heard in corporate America. So we're going to create something so that we can have that marketplace of ideas in the corporate sector, in the business sector, and on the individual level. And it takes companies being willing to take on those fights, being willing to stand on their individual principles that allows our country to come together, because it can't be a shutout in one arena. We have to be present for a full court press.
Well, I have a relative through marriage that won't even speak to me now. He owns guns, but he will not speak to me
Wow.
for 2A Bourbon. And made it very clear. That's why. So, I just, I go through the airport with I plead the second. I get a lot of thumbs up, but I also get the middle finger. I'm being real honest with you. So I see it in real life that we have two different feelings about the Second Amendment. But hopefully the majority of Americans still feel in gun rights and will support gun rights. That's my hope.
Absolutely.
I got it the other day. Well, I didn't get the finger. I got the in the elevator down from the hotel room. I got, hey, I really like your shirt. Oh, thanks. Appreciate it.
Yep. But that is, it's vitally important. It's vitally important that we continue to move forward. As Sam would say, damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead.
Yeah. Well,
So-
and I'm going to be real honest here. When I started this, I did not know Gun Owners of America. I didn't know it. Brad's the one that introduced me to y'all, and now I became a big fan. I wished I'd have known about y'all when I started, and I would have had y'all set up like I do Second Amendment. I knew Second Amendment because of some cases, they'd done. I know Alan Gurr, who did the Heller case, and he was a big supporter of to a Second Amendment Foundation. And so that's why they were the first one, because I knew it was their litigation, and I knew that was important. Now I know y'all, and I know it's important, and that's why I'm here today. And I appreciate everything y'all have done for 2A Bourbon, and hopefully we'll do a lot more for y'all.
Absolutely.
I appreciate everything you've done for us.
This has been an awesome journey these past 2 years, and
It has. It's been great.
I'm looking for us, coming back, maybe season 2, season 3, or we're in season 2. I guess season 3 or season 4, and talking about the next topper on the bottle and the next.
And hopefully distillery with some really neat. Obviously, we won't be able to serve live fire with live bourbon. No insurance company will insure it, by the way. And so we're looking at maybe a distillery in the very near future with simulation gun ranges. Have a duck hunting room, a long range shooting room, have a military outpost with a 50 caliber on top of a Humvee, all laser, because the gun it's a company called iCombat.
Yeah.
And they actually have guns now that recoil like real guns. And I just think it would be a hoot. Just have a good time and enjoy it.
Well, I want to add a little into this. So you have been to not one but both Goals Convention.
Yes.
How'd you like the show? What do you?
The first one was underwhelming, but that was y'all's first. This last one was wonderful. I mean, the growth was incredible in 1 year. I'm just being honest with you.
Yeah.
The first one, it was great, but you could see that it was rough around the edges. This last one was precise, really nice, cool. It touched all the bases for what y'all were going to do
We appreciate
or trying
that.
to do.
We appreciate that. I can't wait for everybody to see us out in Iowa.
Yeah.
We've got some plans for the 50th.
Yeah,
That's going to be.
I'll be there. In fact, I've already contacted. They've not got me back where we can actually sell our bourbon on the floor. We couldn't in the convention center in Knoxville. But I reached out to the convention center in Iowa. My wife actually is from Iowa.
Oh, really?
And I've reached out to them, and they're supposed to be getting back with me. I want it in writing before I ship out, 400 or 500 cases of bourbon and have to give it back. But we're working on a distributor out there, and also to be able to sell it. And we would donate the profits from that sale to GOA if we can do it. So it might be a pretty significant contribution if we can.
Well, we appreciate that. We're also excited to have you guys back for
Yeah,
the 50th.
we'll be there.
It's gonna be fun. If you haven't, this is my PSA. If you haven't booked your hotel or secured your tickets yet, the links are live, and do it now. You will not be disappointed. We have announcements that are scheduled all the way up until the main event. And let me tell you, this is going to be a lineup like you've never seen before.
I'm excited for Iowa.
It's going to be
Des
incredible.
Moines it's great.
Yes.
Now, that's where Brownlee's is located, right?
Brownells they're in Grinnell,
Yeah.
Iowa, which is not super duper far away.
About 45 minutes.
But we got the American 250, the Iowa State Fair all around.
Oh, really?
On the side leading into the week of goals, and it's going to be a great time to celebrate this country, to celebrate the American 250, to celebrate our 50th anniversary. Not many organizations.
And what we need to do is do a barrel pick for GOA for you.
Yes.
Seriously.
I know a guy who can make it happen.
Yeah, I happen to know somebody too, and I know somebody can print the label.
Well, we're excited.
I'm excited. I'm excited for Iowa. I'm excited to have you back. I'm excited for this. You and I talked about this when we first talked, and I was excited then. Now I'm even more excited, seeing that the first one has come up with Smith & Wesson and all the other companies in between.
It's amazing. I'm not going to say which gun companies, but some of the gun companies were excited about it, but they wanted a percentage of the profit. Smith & Wesson says, we don't want to be in the revenue stream. We want to help you to help the Second Amendment. I mean, it's beyond belief that the president of Smith & Wesson said, okay, to a little guy like me producing a little bourbon, it's overwhelming for me. People can't believe it. They tell me, how in the world did you get Smith & Wesson? What did it cost you? Nothing.
Well, we are getting the wrap-up sign, and both of us kind of want to try some bourbon. So anyways, guys, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Before we go, Tim, anything else you want to say?
Just thank y'all for having me, and just, keep up the good work.
So where can people find you? On social media and on your website?
Well, I've got to get more involved in that. I have an Instagram, 2A Bourbon. We just started not too long ago. It's growing. We're going to do Facebook and TikTok. We just hadn't got around to it yet because we've been so busy. But you can find it 2abourbon.com, the website.
And before I forget, Tim, as a thank you for being on the show, AAC and Palmetto State Armory has a gift for our guests. So you'll be receiving a gift card from PSA and AAC Ammo after the show's over. Wow.
Okay.
So you get a gift for the guests for that. So
okay, thank you.
Everybody, thank you for watching this week's episode. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and leave a 5-star review on all podcasting platforms. It greatly helps us in the algorithm, and we appreciate your support. Go to gunowners.org/goals to check out all of the stuff about our 50th anniversary celebration at Goals 2026. You will not want to miss out, I promise you. And we'll see you next week.
See you next time.